about you guys? Are you guys seeing any internet leads coming through now that we've made the changes to the workflow? Yes? Okay.
Turn up the volume on the TV if you want. On the TV there, I think it. There you go.
All right, try talking now, Tim.
It's his internet connection.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our internet connection's bad, Tim?
You guys are good.
No, it's
His is
their
bad.
connection.
Your internet connection's choppy.
It could be his laptop too.
So-
Doesn't pick up good sound.
Can you guys hear us? Wave your hand if you can hear me. Okay.
Delayed, but they.
All right, so it's a little delayed, but you can hear me. So we're just gonna keep going, guys. If you guys can take some notes today and try to draw away something from this conversation. What we're trying to do a better job of is converting on PVLs. So we're gonna be talking a lot about that today and working through that. Before we do that, we like to get a warm up though. We like to get a warm up going. So we've been working a lot on for sale by owners, which we can choose to switch today, or we can keep going with the for sale by owners for a little bit longer. Do you guys have any consensus on what you'd like to do? If you want to keep working through the for sale by owners, or if you want to start talking about expireds?
I feel like for sale owners are the most important.
They're most important because they're tougher.
You're only gonna turn an expired if they have a real interest.
Yeah.
You know, it's, the hardest thing is really turning the for sale by owner into, because they're already interested in selling.
Yeah.
It's just getting them over the hump of being open-minded to maybe working with an agent.
Okay.
That's the hardest hump, I feel like.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna go through a quick introduction because we're gonna actually take a lot of this feed and distribute it to our clients. So just bear with me on the quick intro, and then we'll go ahead and get started with today's training. So, okay, so we're live here with the Dream Team of EXP and the Ultimate Listing Machine. And today what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be working on following up with for sale by owners and expireds. Particularly what we're gonna be focusing on those is for sale by owners. And there's two different types of for sale by owners. There's an early stage for sale by owner and a late stage for sale by owner, and actually two different types of leads. So the leads that you're getting from us have already been talked to by a sales development specialist. We actually have two awesome sales development specialists in the room with us today. They're going to help us out with this conversation, and then also too we're going to be talking about it from an angle of following up with it is if you were the agent calling the PVL, meaning that your ISA hasn't gotten to it, and let's say you see it come through on your phone, and you say, you know what, I want to give that a call. What are the best tactics and strategies to actually convert on that lead? So just to start us off, let's talk a little bit about workflow. So we're all on the same page, and so for our agents too, they understand how the workflow is going to work when this starts happening. So, and Jamie, if you don't mind helping me, because you kind of experience this on your phone where you get a 5 Street lead right now, right? Are you getting dinged by 5 Street?
Well, I shut them off because.
Oh, you did?
Just dinging
Too
the phone every
overwhelming.
second, yeah.
Oh, that's a good problem.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
good
just
problem.
too many.
Too many of them. So, so first of all, what's going to happen is the SDS calls, and as the SDS is calling, they're warming up the leads, and generally speaking, you guys try to get the leads within like 3 to 6 months of selling, correct? That's your goal. That's your target.
Yeah, it won't be a PVL if it's out
Yeah.
further than 6 months.
Right. So it's not going to be a PVL, and I think this is important to for any of our agents on the Dream Team to know. So you pretty much when you see that PVL come across, it's within 3 to 6 months of selling. Now, most of them are sooner, correct?
Most, yeah.
Most of them are actually sooner than that. So if you see that PVL come across your phone and you get dinged on your phone, it's very important to, if you can, to take it and to start working that lead. Now, the way that our structure works is we have a couple different ISAs also helping out working that lead. And for our agents watching, you also might have level 2 on our platform where you'll actually have an ISA helping you convert those leads, but it's very, very important not just to depend on the ISA, because that could be a hot lead. So make sure you read the notes and kind of figure out what's going on with it. And so I think it's really important to pay attention to those 5 street notifications when they're coming across. So, Jamie, do you have anything you want to add to that, or does that pretty much sum it up?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sums it up. There's a lot of them, and so every call that John does,
Yeah.
it triggers a text.
Every
You know what I mean?
PBL that he's
Every
doing.
PBL that
Okay.
he does, and so, it's a good problem to have,
Yeah.
but there's a whole lot of them, and so,
I'll slow down if that
no,
helps.
I don't slow down.
Please don't slow down.
So for now, I think that there's opportunity to improve this and to make it more, workable with what we're dealing with, but for now, it is what it is, and there's just a lot coming through.
Okay.
So until those, and so if, what happens is it goes into 5 Street, you're not set up yet, Ange, on this, but,
That's what you're talking about?
no.
Different than that high street?
Yeah, that's the same thing, but it's different, you're not on our account yet.
I just wanted to-
So the concept is it comes through and then you claim the lead, and if you claim the lead, then it goes into your account in the CRM. And so, anyway, that being said, that's the process that we have right now. I think we need to work on it, but that's how it's set up right now.
Okay. So,
And so they'll end up in here under Yvonne. Yvonne is our rainmaker. It'll end up under Yvonne if nobody claims it. Okay, and then they will remain there under Yvonne unless an administrator moves it
Mhm.
to an agent.
Mm.
Right, so that's the way it works currently.
Okay.
Okay, but there's a bottomless bucket of opportunity to call, and we've been calling them. And so, I don't know if that helps.
No, it does help. It's really good. So I want to make sure the SDSs have an opportunity to get warmed up here this morning, and then what we're going to do is really focus the majority of this conversation on helping the agents being able to convert PBLs. And I think it'd be good, obviously, for you to sit in too, because that's what you're doing as well. But so, John, if you, for our new audience here this morning, if you wouldn't mind volunteering to role play.
Sure.
What we want to do is we call it the warm up. It's just like if you're getting ready for golf, or if you're getting ready for a basketball game or anything, it's good to get warmed up before you're about to go play the game. And so we like to spend at least 20 minutes, half an hour kind of doing that this morning. So
Do you want me to do a live transfer to Mark?
yeah, do a live transfer to Mark. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And who's gonna be the seller? Mr. Mazza?
Ron.
You wanna go 0-3,
Man,
Mr.
Ron.
Mazza?
Wanna go home what?
Go 0-3?
You are asking for it.
Oh, John, I missed that
Nothing
attitude.
like setting yourself up for destruction.
Oh, John.
At the end of this conversation, I just want you to know, remember what you just said.
Yeah, I asked for that.
You did.
Am I doing early age or late age?
You gotta figure it out, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
He's got,
okay.
doesn't he? He's
Yeah.
got
I mean, I can usually see it
There
on
you go.
Zillow, but
Whether
okay.
you're
Figure it out.
All right, all right. Hi, I was looking for the property owner of 123 Main.
He's not here.
Oh, he's not here right now? Is there
Yeah, this is him.
Oh, okay. I was looking for the property owner because I'd seen it online. Have you sold that yet? Or are you still taking offers on it?
Are you a buyer?
It's a great question. I prospect for properties in the area that I think would do really well in the market. So I was just trying to see if you'd sold it or if you were still looking to sell.
Are you an agent?
No, I'm not an agent either. If you got above market offers on the property, would you still sell?
Depends if it's acceptable to me or not, you know,
Okay.
depends.
So if you got the right offer, you would sell?
Of course I would.
Okay, cool. Is it on the MLS or like contract with an agent I should talk to?
No, I'm not paying a commission.
Oh, okay, you're not a commission kind of
No.
guy? Oh, nah, makes sense. Well, my name's John, by the way. Who am I speaking with?
This is Ron.
Ron.
What'd you say your name is?
John.
John.
Yeah.
John who?
John Lehman.
And who do you work for?
My company, Advantage U, is a for sale by owner resource, Ron. What we do is we use our nationwide network to help attract qualified buyers, but also to make sure that you're maximizing on your property value. I don't know if you're aware of what's going on in the market, but because of the low inventory, we have seen property values go up a little bit. And Ron, from what I saw online, I mean, it's a gorgeous property. I was kind of curious why you would even consider selling it.
Because I wanna sell it. I know it's a good market. That's why I wanna sell it now.
Oh, okay, yeah, you heard about the market, so you're trying to get your equity out of it while you can?
Oh, yeah, it's in the newspaper, it's on the news, it's all over the place.
No, it makes sense, it makes sense. Well, Ron, let me ask you a question. If we were able to help you get and walk away with what you want on the property, is that at least worth a conversation?
I don't know. I said I'm not gonna pay a commission. It's always gotta pay a commission.
Hey, I understand what you're saying, but regardless of commission, Ron, at the end of the day, what you care about is netting what you want to net on the property, correct?
What do you mean net?
Walk away with. There's a certain amount of money in your head that you want to walk away with on the property, correct?
That's right. I gotta have a certain amount.
Okay, if you could walk away with that and we could help you obtain that, is that at least worth 5 minutes of your time to discuss how we could do that?
Might be.
Might be, okay. Well then, Ron, what I'll do is I'll introduce you to my partner, Mark, works exclusively with the Rochester market.
Is he an agent?
He's not an agent either, no. He works with me here at Advantage U. Just a brief conversation to explain to you how we would go about helping you sell your property and see what we could come up with for you. Do you have a second while I bring him on the
As
line?
long as it doesn't cost me any money.
It doesn't cost you any money to talk to him, so I'll bring him on the line right now.
All right.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Mark, it's John.
Hey, John.
I've got Ron on the line here. He's
Yeah.
over at 123 Main in Rochester.
Mhm.
He's looking to sell his property basically because, he heard about the market the way it is, wants to get his equity out of the property. He's very big and adamant on not wanting to pay commission, but at the end of the day, he has a certain number in his head that he wants to walk away with. And as long as he walks away with that, he doesn't really care how it was sold. I was hoping you could go over with him what we do in the local area, see how we could help him with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it, John, thank you.
No problem. Hey, Ron, it was great to meet you. You have a great day.
Thank you, young man. You too.
No problem.
Hi, Ron, Mark Howell, how are you?
Good.
Good. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk with us. So I'm just bringing up the property right now. It's 123 Main in Rochester. And John tells me that your big thing is you see how the market is, that you really don't want to pay commission, and you do know your number that you want. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Do you have a plan when the property is to sell?
What do you mean? The only one knows that is the Lord.
I
I'm
agree.
not clairvoyant.
I completely agree. I just meant, do you have a plan in place that you are gonna move to? Do you have a place already? Are you looking?
Oh, yeah. I got a place.
You do, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long have you been for sale by owner now?
About a week.
1 week, okay. Any offers inside the first week?
No, and I didn't expect it to. Just been a week.
Okay.
Gotta give it some time.
Can you tell me a little bit about the marketing that you've done, where you've put the property?
I put it on that Zillow and Craigslist.
Okay, okay. No calls at all yet?
No, not yet.
Really?
Why are you so surprised? I said it's only been a week.
Frankly, Ron, properties in Rochester are moving within a week to 2 weeks right now because of the low inventory.
Okay, well, it's been a week, so I got another week anyway.
Yeah, I'm just surprised you didn't get a phone call, that's all. Definitely not trying to beat you up, Ron. As John probably explained, we're Advantage U, we're a homeowner's resource for sale by owners to help you to get the most out of the property and attract the right qualified buyer.
So do you have buyers?
Any agent typically works with a number of buyers at any one
Wait a
time.
minute, agent. I told the other young man, I'm not paying a commission. I'm not working with an agent.
Yeah, I understand. You have your number in your head. I would
Yeah.
imagine if you were to get that number, it really doesn't matter how the property is sold, right?
Well, I guess not.
Okay. What I'd like to do is have you, introduce you to Bill Dalzell. He works with the Dream Team locally here in Rochester.
Yeah, but I'm not paying a commission.
You don't have to. This is a free consultation, Ron. If you don't like our plan of netting you what you want to net, you don't have to work with us. You're under no obligation. It's simply a conversation, a discovery meeting between you and him to talk about what you want to get out of the property, how he would sell it, and the 55-point marketing plan that he has. Right now, you're doing 2 things. He's going to talk about 53 more things that he's going to do to get that property sold. So I'd just like to have him stop by and talk with you for about a half an hour, 45 minutes, see if you might like his plan. I can have him there at 5 tonight unless 7 works better.
Well, I don't know if I want him to come over to my house. Why does he need to come over to the house? Tell him to call me.
I can have him give you a call, Ron, but frankly, he's not going to be able to give you the best plan without seeing the home. You really got to see it.
We'll go on Zillow. You can see all the pictures. I took really nice pictures of my house.
Is this your first home?
No.
Exactly. You know what it was like when you bought your first home. It's completely different when you walk in a house as compared to the pictures, right?
Not really. I took good pictures.
I love it, Ron. If you're more comfortable, I'll just bring them on the line. You have about 5 minutes just to talk with them over the phone right now?
Sure, I'm
Okay.
retired, I can do anything I want.
Okay, great. Let me bring them on the line for you, Ron. You wanna be Bill?
Hello?
Hello, Bill.
Wait, hello?
Bill, I have Ron here for you.
Hold on, let me get my coffee.
Bill, I have
Love
Ron
you,
here
Bill.
for you. He owns 123 Main in Rochester. He really understands how strong this market already is. That's why he's been selling for sale by owner for a week. He hasn't had any phone calls of interest yet on it besides real estate agents. Doesn't want to pay a commission. He's very adamant against that. But he is open to, if he could net what he wants to net, he's open to talking about it.
Okay. Good,
Great.
awesome.
Thank you very much, Ron.
No problem.
Round of applause. Good.
That's really
So who agrees this is going a lot smoother than it was 3 weeks ago?
I finally learned how to push runs.
Push around. So a couple takeaways from this conversation, also for everybody that's watching, is what we really want to focus on this week is asking for the same day next day. Okay, so throughout everything that we're doing is make a conscious effort to same day next day. And remember, the reason why is because we are in a situation where because of just human nature and how busy people are, that if you go and put that appointment out further than 48 hours, then it has less than a 50% chance on average to show up. So each industry is a little bit different. Residential might be a little bit higher than that, but traditionally, like that's the battle. So like alarm bells should be going off in your head, or when that appointment goes out more than 2 days. Not only good luck getting the listing, but good luck having it even show up. Does that make sense? So now, there's different circumstances. That's usually going from an initial contact to an appointment. Now, if it goes from initial contact to a realtor, then the show-up rate might go up a little bit if that real estate agent has a good conversation with them and then they put it out a little bit further. The show-up rate might go up because you had multiple contacts. But usually on a first contact, they've never heard of you, they don't know you, and it's going right to an appointment. Same day, next day will double, if not triple, your income, like no exaggeration, just by same day, next day. And a good example of that is the listings that Jamie just got. He pretty much went from a call to an appointment to a listing all in one day. Is that correct?
On one of them, yeah.
On one of them.
Yeah.
So
One of them was the next day.
one of them was the next day.
Yeah.
And so think about that person, and think about here's why same day next day is so important too, because we're not the only ones calling, right? There's other agents. Like I'm at fear of loss. If I don't get that appointment same day next day, I'm thinking about the 52 other agents they're gonna get a call from, right? Within 24 hours. They're at this point, if your 470 are expired, you're probably getting a call from 3 to 5 agents every single day. You hear me? Every single day you're probably getting a call from 3 to 5 agents, if not more. Statistically, they say that when an expired comes off the market, within 48 hours they get a call from at least 8 agents.
It hold more than that,
At least 8.
especially in this market, no inventory.
When there's no inventory. So when we think about urgency to work our PBLs, when we think about urgency to work our internet leads, when we think about urgency to get same day, next day, our whole organization needs to keep that as the #1 priority. Because you can do all that work, right? You can you go through all that effort, overcoming the objections, building value, creating desire, and then all of a sudden the appointment doesn't show, or it gets listed. There's probably out of 4,000 appointments we set, there's probably 20% of them that already listed before the agent goes out because we set it out more than 5 days.
Give them time to think too.
Gives them time to think.
That's the
Yeah,
#1.
That's right. Give them time to think about things. So for your own income, for the sake of the agent and kind of how the program works, same day, next day is huge. So if we could do that one more time, but then with a focus on same day, next day. That's cool.
Yeah.
So going from, we'll say that you already got through your call, because you already did the same day, right? Live transfer, right? I think that qualifies for
I
same
don't
day.
think Ron wants
right?
to go again anyway.
Ron doesn't want to, yeah,
I'll give
Ron
him a
doesn't
break.
want to.
Tired me right out. Right, tired me right out.
You do look tired.
Yeah. No.
Johnny made you
Oh,
sweat.
I knew this was coming.
Johnny made you sweat.
Didn't I
He's
go-
getting good at it. I really, really,
Didn't I
really
go tonight at
concerned.
5 unless 7 works better?
You could have.
You're the best teacher.
No, I
Ron.
thought I
Okay.
did.
Honestly, I wasn't,
Oh, okay.
honestly, I didn't.
Okay.
So if you did or didn't, I can't verify or deny.
No, I'm just,
Did anyone else hear him
because
the
I've
same
been
day?
concentrating on it.
Yeah, he
I
tried to
did,
get him to come
yeah.
out at 5 or 7, but he wasn't having the face-to-face.
Good. He wasn't having it, he wasn't dealing with it. And then you did phone calls saying you rated.
Live trend, I was
That's
live
great.
trend.
That's great. So we'll just do it one more time, just with a focus on that. So we'll pick up in the middle. He's kind of went through, he's asked for the appointment.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go from there.
What the heck?
So, Ron, John tells me, or Ron, it's Mark Howell. I appreciate you talking with me. John tells me that you've been on the market a week now, that no offers yet, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Only been a week.
Yeah, I got you. I'm looking at the property right now. You know, it looks like a gorgeous property. I'm surprised you want to sell it anyways.
Why should buy it then, if you think it's so nice?
I just bought.
Oh, see? You're not a buyer.
I'm not personally, no. We're Advantage U, and we're a homeowner's resource. We help folks track the right qualified buyer that are selling the property on their own. Frankly, in this market, there's so many buyers out there as compared to the amount of property that there's a very high demand on property. And properties are moving within the first 2 weeks in Rochester.
What are you, a marketing company or something? You attract buyers?
Well, we actually work with a professional network. Locally, we work with a gentleman.
So we're gonna pretend he's already went all through that with you.
Mhm.
So he's actually asking for the appointment. So just for your mind, you know all that right now.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
sorry, you didn't put it in.
Well, because he's still asking me the same questions when he
Well,
started.
yeah, I didn't know,
Okay.
you know.
All right.
So, well, then where do I start? Then just go through. what I
Ask me
know.
for an
You want us to do the
appointment.
Ask for the
So-
appointment, yeah.
All right, so Ron, you have this great property, you know, I work with a gentleman locally, Bill Delzell, that sells property, often, he's a multi-million-dollar producer in Rochester. I'd like to have him stop out and just talk with you.
But why can't he just call me?
Well, he could just call you, but he's not gonna be able to tell you much without actually being in the home. I could have him stop by and just show you his plan, his 55-point marketing plan of how he would get that home sold at 5 tonight, unless 7 would work better for you.
Well, can't he just tell me what he can do over the phone?
You ever bought a car without looking at it, without driving it?
No, but he's not buying my house.
No, but a guy that's selling it, it would do him better to be able to tell you. the
Does he have
truth.
any buyers?
Typically works with buyers all the time. I can't say without him seeing the property if he might have somebody that would fit it, but we're not bringing, we're bringing a buyer, we're coming to show you what we can do to help you
Well,
attract.
how
a buyer.
much time is he gonna need to look at my house if he's not gonna buy it?
30, 45 minutes, we won't take as much of time as you can give him. He'll take more time if you have questions.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't wanna get involved with realtors right now. I wanna sell it on my own.
I get it, and there's no obligation, Ron. You don't have to make a decision tonight. All this is a conversation about how he would sell your home, and if you decide not to work with him, you're probably gonna learn something that's gonna help you sell the property. You know, would 5 work all right, or would 7 work better for you?
How about 6:30?
6:30 works. Is this the best number to have him call you if he wants
Yeah,
to call?
yeah, have
before?
him call me. Have him
Give me
call
email
me before
address?
he comes over.
Yeah, I'll have him call on the way.
Good.
Do you have an email address I can give him?
Yeah, it's joematarazz@gmail.com.
joematarazz@gmail.com.
Did you
Awesome.
spell that?
All right, I wanna step outside the role play for a second. I think we gotta take notes on this, all right, because this is a really, in my opinion, it's a tough one, it can be, where they say, oh, just tell them to call me, right? Tell them to call me, what do you say when they say, tell them to call me? What do you do, right? And, the other thing is too, is we gotta make sure that when they say that we're able to think quick on our feet, we gotta respond. So if we don't have anything on paper, and if you can verify that, that we have something on paper, we'll pull it up and look at it. I'm getting messages from the team now. Good, this is good. We got a lot of good stuff coming in. All right. So what do you say? What are some things that you can say when they're like, hey, just tell them to call me.
It's free. That's when I listen to Jamie and a couple leads he got, two of the big things that people got quiet, especially the lady
Yeah.
with the house, was what she said she listed with Zillow. You told them that's 20%. I think it was, she got quiet and didn't know what to say for the first time in the conversation. And also, someone like when he's talking with Ron, I mean, this is just what I think I'm learning, not that I can do calls like you can yet. But when you said it was free, it's free, what do you got to lose? I think that was another thing that the other gentleman listened to on the house there, that I really, really liked. It stopped them, they thought about it.
Right, so you have to have some sort of value to get, so what he's saying, and I think this is good, what is he saying? He's saying he doesn't see enough value yet to have you come over, even let you come over to his house. So we haven't, would you guys agree with that? Like, you haven't given him a good enough reason, right, for him to come over. And so, and that's usually because we haven't found their pain or their motivation or something to do with marketing. So again, what are some pain and what's some pain that for sale by owners have? Marketing is a huge one, right? Like you just said, marketing is a huge problem for sale by owners. Huge problem.
The other thing that Bill taught him that we both use sometimes on occasion is that Zillow like advertises agents and that they can actually be taking business away from them.
Oh, they are.
And because people will tell me like, oh, I got 100 views on it in 2 weeks and I got 3 saves. Okay, did you get a phone call? No. Okay, well this is what's happening and this is why you're not getting calls. They're probably already looking at other properties, you know, and then those people like they get dead silent.
Because people advertise.
They realize.
The realtors, we talked about the other day, and I thought.
You could say something like, you know, if Bill, if I could get Bill to come over and look at your house, at the very least, he'll be able to tell you if prospects or buyers can find your home easily. Because maybe they can't find it. They don't know it's available. And that's one thing he can tell you as soon as he looks at your house. But he's gotta go there to do that. So can I get him there at 5:30 for you?
There you go.
He is available. It's worth your while. It's free. It's not committal. Everything is free until it closes. Everything. B, Bill, AU, everything is free till it closes.
Jamie, you look deep in thought. What were you thinking?
Just contemplating.
Contemplating with it.
You all right, kid?
Yeah.
Okay. Been working hard, I know that.
Yeah. Well, so what are some other things that we can talk about to get them the same day? I thought that was great. That's good.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, you know, it's just,
Depends on the
or you could
situation.
say this, this is a good one, you can say, Mark, let me just ask you one question here, and definitely I'll tell Bill to call you if that's your like, but you know, if you could just let him come over, it's free and non-committal, he can make sure that you are asking the highest possible price to sell your home and attract buyers.
You can't do that though unless he's.
Yeah, he's gotta see it, and he could tell you straight up, are you asking enough for this house? Maybe you're not attracting the right buyers, that's why you're not getting buyers, because your price is wrong for the area,
Right,
you know?
so,
How do you drive,
go ahead.
how do you drive home that point? Because I do speak about this, but I have trouble making sure that they're getting it.
Mm-hmm,
Because I get it, is when they're priced low, they're priced a little bit too low,
mm-hmm,
and they're missing out on the buyers that are looking at
higher price
higher
houses.
price houses.
Right, cause that's how agents search for properties for the buyers, by price. And if, it's within $5,000 increments. So if you're not priced high enough, you're missing out on a pool of buyers that may wanna look at your home. And other buyers who are lower priced are already decided they can't afford it. So quite frankly, until we can find out where you belong, Bill's gotta look at this house. He can't guess at it by looking at pictures. So can I get him there at 5:30 for you? I know he's available tonight.
And that's the key, it doesn't take a lot, it takes one point and then transition back. You don't have to go through 52
Yeah.
different points
Right.
to get them there, it's just usually one small thing that sets the trigger that then you go ask for it again. If that didn't work, then you try to find something.
And then use the appointment, call it a discovery meeting. Bill's not even gonna bring paper with him.
Yeah.
He's just gonna come there, meet you, look at your home, see if he can even help you, and then go from there. He's gonna be there 15 minutes or longer if you need him there.
One of our classic lines is, it's not like Bill's gonna show up with a sign
Or
underneath his
briefcase.
arms.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, a sign underneath his arms,
Yeah.
trying to stick a sign in the yard. Literally, this is a brief call, or sorry, a brief conversation, and where he can just show you maybe on a few different things you can do to market your home, right? But that verbal advantage is huge, because it puts an image in their mind, right? So like, oh, just call me. Hey, look, Ron, I get it. But one of the things about Bill's not gonna just come over like with a sign underneath his arm, Ron, and trying to stick it in your yard, okay? What he'd like to do is show you, maybe give you a second opinion on what you can get for your home, and show you some other things that you can do. He's got a 55-point marketing plan. It seems like you're doing 2 of them right now, okay? So what he'd like to do is just come over and preview the property and show you how to get more exposure. Because what you're doing right now may not be helping you attract the best buyer. So what time works where you could come over? Like, does 5:30 work?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I gotta say, yeah. Okay, fine, if you think he can, give me some advice, no problem, what I got to lose, it's not gonna cost me any money. And Bill can walk in there with a seller's advantage UVP and nail it,
Nail it down.
right then and there, because that's exactly what the guy wants to do.
I love the role plays when you go off the sheet.
What's that?
When we do the role plays off the sheet, and you pick one, when we did that, that helped me out a lot.
Oh, like picking an objection, you mean?
Yeah,
Or picking, a question?
yeah,
Or what? Was it
going off the sheet, like pick one line and then you bring it to the,
Okay.
person that you're talking on the phone. And I wouldn't say it was a client,
Yeah.
customer.
The key is to get that agent either really face to face with that seller,
Yeah.
because that agent has so much power right now, because if they're face to face, if they're good at what they do, believe me when I tell you, the rapport, the trust, the connection will be there, they're gonna list that property.
So true.
The live transfer has that power too with the people that are like, just
Yeah,
stonewalling you.
because then they
And
get
then
to
they'll-
talk to the agent,
Right,
if they really like that agent over the phone, they're gonna give that agent input.
yeah.
So we had a couple interesting questions come in. Why don't we do same day, next day? One of them, that was the question I asked them. And let me see here.
Wow, these are all the questions.
Well, some of, yeah.
Oh,
some
no,
of-
those are your
yeah, those are all
hangouts.
hangouts. The first question is, or the first answer to that is, they feel like they're being pushy by asking them the same day, by asking for same day, next day. Do you guys feel that way when you're setting it?
I don't, absolutely not, no.
I think like after 2 objection cycles,
Yeah.
if you went for same day, next day, like 2 or 3, then that's when it starts getting pushy.
Okay,
Yeah, if you're like.
that's how I would react to it.
all right.
I think an objection is a blow off or test you. They just wanna make a decision right now.
Yeah,
Give them a choice,
give them a choice.
today or yet tomorrow. Give them a choice. Same day, next day. I mean, it's, an objection is just testing you. There's no reason they have an objection right now, to be honest with you, because they're trying to sell their home. What objection could they possibly have of getting advice? And it's just the way it's presented. It's free, it's non-committal, this is gonna help you. They have a marketing plan, maybe some of the things that they do, you could be doing. At no cost to you. There's a lot of things that you can do and it doesn't cost you. And you can say, how much does it cost to put it on Zillow? It's free. But think about it, who funds Zillow? Agents. So they can get buyer leads. Simple as that. You're not paying, but they are. So, does that make sense? So again, get them, that's the key. Don't be afraid of that same day, next day.
You just laid it out really well. You said it's free, it's non-committal, and you said one other thing right after that. What was that? You followed it up with something.
With
I
Zillow.
feel like it was a great.
I said, you put your property on Zillow. How much did it cost you? Well, nothing. It's free. Nothing's free like that. Who pays for that? Agents pay, they fund that, advertisers fund that. And how does an agent fund it? They wanna advertise their contact information next to your listing. Where do you think the buyers click? You or the agent? That's why 20% sell their house off of Zillow. Where's the other 80 going? You haven't got a call yet, but you had 100 people look at your house. I wonder if 100 buyers went to 100 agents. And they're showing them other property. But anyway, let's not even talk about that. Let's get Bill there.
I like how you sprinkled it.
Oh, but that's what an agent
No,
can
yeah, no,
do.
it's
That's
awesome.
what an agent can do, or broker, I should say. But that's what an agent can do when they're talking to that client. And just make them understand. You know, and if Bill's part of Zillow, he could say, I even do it, you know, and I'm quite successful with buyers.
Or you need to clarify what it is exactly. It doesn't cost you anything. They can't care up.
Okay.
So let's work on that today.
Snow?
Work on the same day, next day.
Snow?
I know.
What the
I
heck?
have no idea.
Okay.
How could you? You're like asking for it to start snowing again.
So, if we can make a commitment on every single call today, is to ask for same day, next day, even if it feels a little uncomfortable, and to work through that comfort level. And let's talk about this again tomorrow, and let's think about, or let's just talk about what we're running into. And keep telling it, if we do this every single day for the next 20 days, where we're just same day, next day, every single day for the next 20 days, let's see what it does for our productivity and what it does for our listing count. See how much it goes up. Cool. So what was your takeaway? What'd you get out of the session?
Well, I thought it was a phenomenal training session. I was actually looking forward to it. I told Brian this yesterday. Just a lot of key points on things that I could be saying myself on the phone to help my conversion.
Okay.
To really convince the seller that I'm trying to help them.
Okay.
So that's really what I got, especially from the role play with John and Mark was really good too, to kind of see that through.
What you?
I liked it. I kind of wish I could get a little bit more from like John about it. But I've run into the marketing versus working with a professional network a little bit more lately.
Okay.
So I know it's some of my own key trigger words. So I was happy to kind of see how to really work past it. Be like, well, no, like sidestep and say, well, we're working with professionals to help you net the most on your home. Like that's what we're looking to do. And it's good for me, like I know even being an SBS, it's nice for me to see how it works down the pipeline with other people and knowing a bit more how this interacts with the agents along. And like I've seen some with the account executives, it just helps in my process,
Definitely
like
helps.
how the information is being used.
That's good. That's good. All right. How about you? Any takeaways?
Don't take with us, just every time we do it, I learn more and more.
Good.
And it helps you when you're there, if you keep doing it,
Yes.
it gets in your mind, and I think that's huge.
That's the biggest part. Yep, that's good. All right, so, good luck today, guys, and let's talk tomorrow, see how it goes. Okay?
Thank you.
And we're gonna take a deeper dive into PBLs, separate from this conversation, so if you could, I don't know if this is gonna throw Lynn off,